Welcome back users. In the last video we have seen how to do the expert install of Xfce Desktop using the terminal method. Uh, the real expert install involves the Synaptic Package Manager. Of course, terminal method everybody knows and it is quite vogue. So people mostly use terminal method, but the Synaptic Package Manager is also very interesting, and we tried to do the installation of KDE Desktop during my trials, but the KDE Desktop installation did not succeed. So I had to do the installation of Xfce Desktop using the terminal method in the last video. But today we will do the review of the Xfce Desktop that we installed in the last video, and in the next video I will try to do the installation of KDE Desktop using the Synaptic Package Manager. So let us start. First you have to change to the Xfce session, then input your sudo password. So now we are logged in into the Xfce Desktop. So this Xfce Desktop looks exactly like it is in Debian. So this SpiralLinux is nothing but it is a Debian, but it has some enhancements that make it more user friendly. So at the video description you can find the points that make the SpiralLinux more user friendly. It is Debian made more user friendly, so you can check that out. So here the Xfce Desktop is there. At the top there is a bar, there is a workspace manager, then there is volume manager for the audio controls, then there is at the bottom audio mixer. So you got the volume control, simple microphone volume control, and audio mixer. Then there is a notifications area with the DND option, and you can clear the notification log also from here. To the right there is the date. So here the calendar is there and the time is there, and at the topmost right you find the user management. So you can lock the screen, you can switch the user, suspend, shut down, and log out. And at the top left you have got the applications menu. At the bottom there is a dock with the minimize maximize windows, then there is a terminal emulator launcher, file launcher, web browser launcher, application finder, and the home or the home directory is there. So launcher for the home directory is there, and you got some icons on the desktop, that is your language support, home, file system, and trash. So now we can start and we can check out the okay, we can get the trash box here. Okay, so let's start. So this is the file manager. We can check out the, so it is 14.16.8. so anyway 14.20 is still not there, so 14.16 is the latest. 14.20 is being worked upon, so in future we will get a release. So 14.16 is the current standard current stable and standard Xfce Desktop that is available. So this is the Thunar file manager, and this is your home directory. So you got desktop, document, downloads, music, pictures, public, templates, and videos. That is all standard in the Linux. So I will close this down. Then you got the mail reader is there. So let us check out the mail reader. So we are not chosen the preferred application, so it is not opening up. Then you got the web browser. Let us check out the web browser. So I think okay, so the default web browser is Mozilla Firefox, and it will be, I think, ESR version only of Mozilla Firefox. Yes, it is 91.11 ESR version, so extended release or stable release. So I will close this down. We need to close this also. Then let us check out the settings. So this is the settings manager. We can open the settings manager. This is the appearance app. So here you can do the style, icon, font and other settings. So in the style we got only three: Advaita, Advaita Dark and Numix. So we can choose Numix. Then in the icons we can go with the either Advaita or Gnome, or we can or add the icon themes, but we right now when there is no icon theme downloaded, but we can do that. In the fonts you can choose the font you want. You can install the font. So right now the sans regular family is the default font, and monospace font is monospace regular, and you can do setting for the hinting, subpixel order and the DPI. So DPI setting right now custom is 96. This is the clipboard manager, so where you can clip any selection of text and then you can use that text in any other applications. So from one application you can copy paste and clip your text, and then you can use it in some other application. So that's it. And now let us check out the desktop. So this is the wallpaper for the desktops. So the wallpapers are in the Xfce folder. You can change the background color, the gradient and the transparency from here. So we can do it. Let us do the transparent settings. Let us see what happens. These are the menu settings for the desktop menu and the Windows list menu, and the icons are there. So you can choose the size of the icon type. So I will go with a reduced size of the icons. So you can also change the icon orientation, icon tooltips and the icon thumbnails, and you can choose the default icons on the desktop. So right now the file system is there. I can remove the file system from here, and the language setting is also there. So we can remove the language setting also. No, I think language setting is not possible. Okay, so I will go back. Now let us check out the file manager settings. So here you can change the view settings, icon views, window view settings, then the side panel, side pane settings, behavior of the file manager for navigation, tabs, file transfer and the context menu. And there is some advanced settings for the folder permissions and the volume management. Then there is a notifications setting, general application and the notification for the log setting. So any log is there, it will notifications log. You can modify the settings from here. Now there are some panel settings. So appearance of the panel, it is in dark mode. Background style is none. Use the system style. Icons, you can reduce or increase the size of icons. Now let what I will do. 13 is it. Okay, opacity, enter and leave. Okay, the items. So here you can add and remove the items that are shown in the panel at the top, and of course there will be dock setting at the bottom. So if you want to do the dock setting, you have to right click and then you can do the dock setting, and this is for the panel at the top. This is the workspace setting. So right now 4 workspaces are there. We can reduce the workspaces, so it just becomes 2 is I think more than enough for me at least. Then there are Xfce terminal settings. So you can do the title setting for the title, command, scrolling, cursor at the clipboard for the terminal. Then you can choose the behavior for the drop down menu, appearance and animation, position. This is the appearance. You can change the font, you can change the background, you can have a transparent background, you can set the tabs, how many tabs you want. All those settings are available here. Colors of the text colors. Then the custom colors are there. You can choose the palette. You can load the presets. So you can have green on black. So let us have green on black. So what will happen is, so you can see here it is more viewable. So if you have green or any other color of your choice, you can have this like this. You can have any name. You can see here. So like this you can type and check out which looks better, and you can keep that color. Then there is compatibility settings for the terminal, like the backspace key generates auto detect, delete key generates auto detect, ambiguous wide width characters. So like this all the settings are there. There are some advanced settings for the double click encoding. You can change the encoding. Right now it is UTF-8. You can change it to Turkish, Cyrillic, and many languages are there. You can just check out in the list. Okay, so I will close this down now. At the bottom in the hardware part, you have got the color profiles, so you can import the color profiles. Then there is a display settings. You can do the display settings. Keyboard is there, mouse touchpad is there. Default applications, you can set the default applications. You can set the default web browser as Mozilla Firefox. Mail reader, I think no mail reader is there. So Xfce Desktop in Debian does not install any email client, so you have to install the email client separately. Not even gear, this gear is also not available. So gear is a lighter email client, but that also is not available in Debian. So the desktop using all the Debian defaults. Then in the system section you have got this. Yes, we already done. Then you can configure the startup, so you can have the session and startup. So you can display the chooser on login, automatically save session on logout. You can shut down lock screen before sleep, application auto start. You can select which application start at the login or at the start of the system. Then you can save the current session. You can launch Gnome services on startup, or you can launch KDE services on startup, because you see Xfce does not have that many features. So what users do is, users install Xfce for the lightness, and then they install some of the Gnome or KDE applications. So Gnome and KDE are feature rich desktop. So users use the applications of Gnome and KDE along with the Xfce desktop. So they get the lightness of the Xfce desktop with the features of the Gnome or KDE application. So that's why the compatibility is there. Now let us go to the display and let us increase the size of the display. Yes, so that should make us more comfortable. Okay, now we go back to the settings, and there is a settings editor. So here you can choose which of the settings property is available. So for Thunar file manager, there are certain properties like last icon view, zoom level, last view, miscellaneous single click. So you can lock the this properties, or you can unlock them and use them, and you can set some values for each of this properties. Okay, so I will go back now. We are completed with the settings. Now let us check out other. In the office there is only fax address book, HPLib fax utility is there, and the dictionary is there. In the other section you got the language support, Snapper GUI, and the Snapper GUI root is there. So now this Snapper is not there in the default Debian Xfce Desktop, but it is there in SpiralLinux, because SpiralLinux has the Btrfs file system as the default. In Debian it is extended 4 file system. So since the Btrfs file system is default, they have introduced this Snapper GUI and the Snapper GUI root. So this is there for taking the snapshot. So whenever you do any changes to the application. So if you add or remove the applications, the system snapshot will be taken by the snapper. And if you install any kernel or any system utilities, then also snapper will be done. So every time there is a installation or uninstallation of any application, then the snapper will take a snapshot of the system. So if something happens and you are confronted by a mess up in the system, you can roll back to the last working settings. So the your system always boots, so there is no issue and you can always work. Now in the multimedia there is only except when no multimedia player is there, you can install the multimedia player of your choice. In internet section only the Firefox is there. In graphics only the Resto image viewer is there. In accessories you can find the application finder, bulk rename, clipboard manager, light DM, GTK greeter settings, screenshot is there, sensor view is there, task manager, Thunar file manager, and except one is there. So let us check out the light DM GTK greeter settings. Okay, so here you can change the new theme of the greeter. So right now it is new mix because the system wide theme is new mix and the icons are papyrus as per the selection of the theme. So theme has decided the icons. So font is now Ubuntu regular. Additional font options are available. The background image is Hopper green div CC. So this is the background for the greeter. Okay, so now I will close this down. Okay, so now here in the settings menu, you see there is this Grub Customizer. So let us check it out. What is Grub Customizer? I will tell you now. This Grub bootloader, you can change the options in the Grub bootloader. So right now, whenever you try to log in, you get this option. So you get this Debian, that is SpiralLinux builder, GNU Linux. So this is the entry or the option available for booting. And if you click on the advanced options for Debian, that is SpiralLinux builder, you get these 4 options. So first is the 5.18 kernel. So Debian SpiralLinux will boot with the Linux 5.18 kernel. That is the backports kernel. BPO means backports. And so it is the latest kernel backported. Since it was found to be working satisfactorily, it has been backported and can be used in the Debian Stable or any Debian based distro. You can use this. So it is stable. That's why it is backported. It is available in the backports repo. And there is this recovery mode. So if suppose anything happens to this kernel image, you can use the kernel image given below. That is the recovery kernel. And there is a older stable kernel 5.10 and it also has got a recovery image. So it is standby. Suppose something happens, it gets corrupted, you can use the recovery mode kernel. And there are snapshots. So here the system snapshots are there. Suppose you have installed some application and then after installation of application your system gets corrupted, it does not boot or any other issue is there, you can just select the snapshot that was taken before the installation of that particular software and then you have to boot into that snapshot and that snapshot will be system will be restored as per the snapshot and you will have the working system again. So this is the use of this. And this Grub Customizer is used to control the different options available while we boot in. So when we boot, the bootloader selection is given, so we can customize this. We can change the this what we can say, the display. So we can move, suppose we can move this this selection up, we can move this selection also up. So like this we can move and move it down. So we can also hide some selections. So I'll have to again redo this. And then there are some general settings like the what is the default entry. So default entry is right now not given, but we can do it. We can select this as the default entry. So better not to do the default entry, because otherwise it will directly boot into that default entry. So you won't get the time to do the selection. And then there is a visibility of the bootloader. So show the menu, look for the other operating system. If you remove this, then the OS prober will not work, and the OS prober will not check out for the different other systems like Windows or any Mac. Suppose there is Mac OS is there, so it will not check for the other systems. So directly on booting, it will boot into the Linux system. And this is the boot default entry after 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, the options will be displayed on the screen. You can choose that. After 10 seconds, it will be the default entry will be first entry or the default entry will be chosen. So right now it is 10 seconds. We can do it anything, 1 minute, 2 minute, anything you can do. Then these are some kernel parameters. So the log level right now is 0. So you can have the log level. So if you increase the log level, more and more detailed logs will be displayed on the screen while booting. And you can generate the recovery entries also from here. So let us check out the version. So this is Grub Customizer 5.1. So this is a very valuable addition. So this is the beauty of SpiralLinux. The developer has added certain enhancements to the Debian system to make it more user friendly. So this is the addition like the Grub Customizer to make the system more user friendly. So now I will close this down. So you can quit without saving. Most other things you have seen, I will not go again and again into same thing. And there is the Synaptic Package Manager. So what we will do is I will now stop the video here. In the next video, we will check out the Synaptic Package Manager. So I think most of the things we have already seen. Now let us check out the HP lib toolbox. What is there inside? So it is not opening up. Okay, it has opened up. Okay, so there is no printer right now installed. So if you have got the printer, it would have detected and installed the printer automatically. So this is also example of the user friendliness of SpiralLinux. So in Debian, no such tools are available. You have to do the installation by yourself. But here the developers have already included the certain important apps like Grub Customizer, HP Device Manager into the ISO. So it installs by default, and you have got a very user friendly working desktop. Let us see something if any other things are pending. Okay. Yes, these additional drivers. Let us check out these additional drivers. Okay, so that was only software and update. So nothing additional is there. So I will close this down. So I think we have covered everything. I will stop the video here. In the next video, we will try to install the KDE desktop using Synaptic Package Manager. So it will be an expert install, because very few people I can say have the ability to install any desktop from the Synaptic Package Manager. Most of the people are after the terminal, but I can tell you, you require some advanced knowledge to use the Synaptic Package Manager. Just like you require advanced knowledge to use the terminal, you also require advanced knowledge to use the Synaptic Package Manager. So I will show you how to install the different desktops using the Synaptic Package Manager. So see you in the next video. Bye bye. See you.